Welcome, Juni. I have a few questions that I'm looking forward to hearing your responses and sharing them with the good people of Richmond Hill. First
Glad to
question.
be here, and thank you, Marj.
You're very welcome. First question. What do you believe is necessary for the city of Richmond Hill to do to be prepared for probable climate crisis?
Well, if we are to look in the long-run doomsday scenario that environmentalists put out, they say that the seas will rise because of the melting glaciers and icebergs. And the last refuge of mankind is supposedly the Great Lakes area, our area. And Richmond Hill is part of that refuge, with its altitude basically not being sunken under the sea. So I see that if people are to migrate here as refuge, then the Oak Ridges Moraine is that huge catchment base for Lake Ontario's freshwater, our main form of sustenance. So I think that simply put, we must preserve this water drainage catchment area if we are to have potable water in the future for drinking, for agriculture, and so on. And we must keep it clean. City runoff simply does not work. If you try to use sewer system to catch them, as much as we would like to have a large, effective catchment base by artificial means, it doesn't compare with nature. So we need to keep a significant part of nature and trees in order to keep that water in the water table so that it releases timely for human use into obvious places like lakes.
Thank you for that response. Second question. How would you like to see Richmond Hill strengthen our artistic community?
So this idea about goes a little beyond just art. We mentioned that before, Richmond Hill lacks political transparency and involvement. I see this as the lack of civic social infrastructure. It has aged and has broken down. So to leapfrog this, we must leapfrog Canadian standards and build that network back up using the latest trends and technologies. Our social societies must be mended back together by fostering innovation, by linking those great ideas to people who are willing to contribute time and resources, or just simply support. And we must link social media, digital governance tools yet to be developed, and analog platforms like democracy walls in schools and community centers together. So it's possible for anyone, any age, any method to contribute and follow what our city is thinking.
Thank you. Third question. How best can we honor our history? Would you like to see Richmond Hill have a museum?
So Richmond Hill is but a small slice of treaty land. Its rolling hills, its streams are divided and rationalized through our regional road systems, tracks, and the fact that we're halfway between Lake Ontario and Lake Simcoe. And this was the location to spend the night if you traveled by horse and buggy in between. The complex tale of so many stories, so many eras and contexts, they must be kept organized and compiled into a narrative that links the difficulties, the setbacks, and of course, our successes of our residents that gather here today. And from here, set out a good plan for our future. If anything, I would like to see the museum be settled in the village or somewhere near the locations of one of those taverns in the past, so that we may quickly set foot in, drink our fill of history and in a respite of reflection, and be ready to set foot again into the heart of our city and in the present and the future, and to let people see Richmond Hill for the many different layers that it's been, of different ethnic makeups, of different communities, of different sizes, wards, and of course, treaty land.
Thank you for that response. Fourth question. How do we best build an age-friendly community?
The arts question sort of answered this, but to continue on to this particular issue, Audrey Tang has specifically noted during the Sunflower Movement and the subsequent usage of Taiwan's state-of-the-art digital governance platform since 2014, that 25% of the good motions that were suggested and later adopted were good ideas proposed by citizens under 18. Quote, they are able to actively engage in civil society before they're even legally allowed to vote, which is an archaic and inefficient form of data collection in the democratic process. So I think that the qualification for the participation of the new platform is only to prove their affiliation or residence with Richmond Hill, and age should not be a barrier to their participation. From art to policy, they should be able to swim in the deep end, or at least have a dip in that experience if they're willing. And with time and learning, they'll be more than able to participate in this public process, which I consider all of them to be politics.
Okay, thank you again. Our fifth question. Richmond Hill is a very culturally diverse community. What do you see as the challenges and opportunities of this diversity?
So as I mentioned with the museum question, Richmond Hill today is a complex society, now that we're a city finally, and it's comprised of many layers or many ways to see things like ethnic communities and enclaves, different social classes, different consumer patterns, and of course, different wards and treaty lands and so forth, geographically speaking. So I think the challenge is to create a dialogue that links up the issues of each of those communities in each of those scopes, and draw equivalencies or to draw the lessons learned from their histories onto one another. So for example, I run an NPO that tries to link Chinese heritage issues along with Canadian Indigenous ones. So if we can try to draw on the difficulties and the solutions that were brought by different communities and have them learn from one another through this digital platform or through the dialogues in the community in person, once we can come back out, that would be my vision. That would be one of the primary things I want to focus on, is to rebuild civil society that way.
Thank you very much for that detailed response.
Thank you.
Now we'll have our fun part with our 7 fun facts about questions. So I'm going to shoot them away. You're going to respond, and we're going to have a smile on our face. So what is your favorite color?
Well, I started off by liking navy in the past. I'm wearing it right now. But my last romance actually got me to broaden my horizons. And now I'm interested in greens and purples. If anything, they complement very well to dark yellow.
Very good.
The land.
Second question. What's your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Officially vanilla. Butterscotch as well. Although secretly it's cookie dough.
Oh, okay. Have you ever driven a motorcycle?
That is unfortunately one of those things I can't do. I can't even ride a bike. I'm sorry. And on the other hand, I practice Chinese martial arts and archery. Does that count?
Okay. Do you ever wear socks that don't match?
Only by happy accidents.
Okay, I like that. What is your favorite genre of music?
I started off with classical music appreciation in school. I also listened to anything from traditional Chinese court music to trap. And the reason why I like all of these in the middle is I have to understand where those music came from, how it was developed, why people wanted to express their dissatisfaction or happiness through their music. And I try to celebrate that emotion behind it.
Ooh. Can you play any musical instruments?
Sure I do. Not sure if you can see this through the filter, but I am a Chinese Guqin teacher, and I teach Chinese music theory as well as perform. And I definitely hope that in the future, I can perhaps organize Richmond Hillers or your region to organize a Chinese-Korean-Japanese court orchestra.
Thank you for that. You definitely play musical instruments. Okay, last question. Do you chew gum?
I do chew gum, but only out of necessity. Usually it has to do with going before in an interview and I want to freshen up.
Sounds
Thankfully,
good.
Zoom has sort of allowed me to sneak past that just a little.
Okay. Thank you so much, Judy. I enjoyed hearing your responses. Good luck with the campaign.
Thank you, Marj, for giving me the opportunity.